So what have you been up to for a year?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, nothing.
yeah, not much.
Welcome to a special bonus episode of Late of the Rings. My name's John, and 13 months to the day, I find myself looking upon a familiar sight. It's my good friend Emery.
Hello, John.
Hello, sir.
I like the way you call this a bonus episode, in addition to all of those multiple episodes that we've been producing over the last year.
Our fans are just... they're just over-treated. What's the word I'm looking for?
Spoiled.
They're spoiled.
There's a bonus.
I went with over-treated.
You've had 4 slices of cake, but here's a chocolate eclair on top.
Exactly. Yes, this is not a... You'll be pleased... No, what will they be?
You'll be unsurprised.
You'll be unsurprised to hear that this is not a full new episode of Late of the Rings, and we apologise for that. But as we have been away from your ears for, and if I get the scheduling of this episode correctly, 13 months to the day, then we thought it would be nice just to pop a short episode out to just let you know that we are actually still alive, and we do sort of have intentions of keeping the podcast going. It's just, yeah, what can we say? What's gone wrong?
I think we just lost track of time.
Sidetracked.
Yeah, got a little bit sidetracked. You know what? When you say that, I just imagine anyone listening to this being like, you know, that the old guy, the old hobbit, who just shakes his head.
Oh yeah.
That's what everyone will be doing to us right now.
Yeah.
Listening to this.
I imagine there'll be a few people who are very excited to see this sort of pop up and then instantly disappointed.
Yes, we're good at that.
Over-promise and under-deliver. That's our style.
That's the way. The recipe for success. But no, it's been I guess things have got maybe sort of even crazier than they were before, which is a bit what's the word? Unexpected, not courage, unexpected
journey.
Unexpected journey. It's amazing how quickly that time seems to have passed, actually, I've got to say. Seeing as the amount of stuff has happened over the last 12 months, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, to be perfectly honest. But
no, but it does turn out that when there is a global pandemic, we have a lot more time on our hands to record a podcast than when we do when the world goes back to normal.
Yeah, we need another one. I'm sure that's currently being arranged.
But Em, have you been up to anything good that we want to fill in the listeners with? Just for giggles?
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm trying to remember back well, let's start in December.
Yeah, how was your Christmas?
Yeah, it was lovely, thank you. A lovely time, some family time. And it was funny, isn't it? Oh, God, just Christmas coming up very soon. I'm trying to think of... I won't go through all of the, obviously, the stuff that's happened in personal lives all of that. But
please don't.
Please don't. I don't know. I don't know really. I mean, I haven't had enough time to play the game, obviously, as much as I had before. But
yeah, that has been one issue we've had with recording this podcast, is we haven't actually managed to play the game very much.
Yeah, although we did get together, didn't we? Just not that long ago, and we managed to play a couple of 2-player games, didn't we?
Yeah. In fact, you did come and visit me because the one big change in my life that happened this year is I got married. So,
oh, did you? Oh, congratulations!
So that's been nice, and I don't want you to think this is like a Yoko Ono effect of why we stopped recording.
Yeah, right. Okay. You're John.
Yeah,
of course. I'm Paul. And your better half is Yoko.
So Yeah, well, so that took up a bit of my time, I must say, but only a day. But and then you did come and visit, and we did get to play. Importantly, the Watcher in the Water, Watcher in the Water, Watcher of the Water,
In the water.
in a water.
Oh, you got me doubting it. It's Watcher in the water, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure it is. For sure it is.
Or is it Watcher in the water? No, for Watcher in the water, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, personally, I can't remember anything of it, so we will need to play it again before we record a proper episode for that one.
Can I surprise you?
Please do.
I actually did manage to play it again.
I'm shocked.
I know. That just very, very recently, like literally a couple of days ago.
Oh, we should strike whilst the iron is hot.
Yeah, exactly. So I do need to have another couple of goes on that one, to be honest. But I guess what we're saying is, starting to get the engine going again after all this time. So we should be, hopefully, recording again pretty soon after this, I should imagine.
And how are your thrashing tentacles?
Oh, God. Bad as ever. It's quite, I'll tell you what, well, we'll cover this in the episode, obviously, but it's a hell of a different experience playing that one solo than it is playing it in two-player. That's a very, very different time.
That I do remember, because I remember I was playing it whilst I was waiting for you. and I was finding it incredibly difficult. And then we got together and we put it on the table, and it was like, oh, not so bad.
Easy.
Not so bad at all.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuss was about.
Yeah. Maybe that's a good one to go back to the old double-fisted sort of approach. But in all seriousness, it was that was great fun actually. That was a great celebration for your wedding. That was a real fun time.
It's got to be one of the highlights of my year.
It's up top 5. Right?
Top 5, definitely in the top 5.
No, but on behalf of me, congratulations. That was great. That was great fun. I haven't had anything happen in my life which is obviously going to be in any way comparable in terms of sort of scale to that. So, there's such seismic events. Seismic.
Well, if you think that was a seismic event, wait till you get a load of this, because of course that's, like I said, that's probably in my top 5 things that happened to me this year. Sitting a little bit above that, I must tell you about my garden furniture.
Oh, yes.
So, picture it.
Oh, God. I'm picturing it. It's fine. I'm picturing it sitting in the rain getting wet is what I'm picturing right now.
Well, in the spring, of course, we had snow.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
So, can I shock you?
I don't know. Let's see.
I kept it covered up.
You did?
Yeah.
There you go. Good man.
Maybe a little bit too long. But
still covered up now.
I uncovered it in time for the end of spring, early summer, and we had, I would say, maybe 2 good weeks.
Yeah, out of 5 months. Yeah, it's true. You may as well. It literally rained all summer, didn't it?
Well, this is it. So the drama with my garden furniture this year was not uncovering too soon. It was covering back up too late.
So I don't have too much of a issue about that, because, I mean, when I came to see you, it was a glorious few days, actually, wasn't it? We sat on that very furniture in the sun. But yeah, no, it's put it away when you want. I'm not too bothered about that.
Wow, no, well, you want to cover it when it's not covered in leaves and not chucking it down with rain, but it has not stopped raining since July.
Yeah.
So we've basically been waiting for a break in the clouds to rush out there.
Literally haven't had a chance for 10 minutes just to go out and cover it. Give it another hour.
Yeah,
let's see.
I think so. That's why. So let me think. So yeah, wedding, garden furniture. That's about me.
That's your lot.
Oh, no, I tell you what I did do. Now, this is going back a little bit. Is I did get round to watching the Rings of Power.
Ah, okay. So, what did you think?
I thought it was a car crash.
A car crash. I'm sure you saw the right thing. Cart crash, maybe.
Very good.
So I tried to, if anyone recalls, and I tried to stay very neutral and non-judgmental because I didn't want to cloud your view or any of the listeners' views.
You wanted to stay neutral so that people could use you in any deck they chose.
Yeah, correct. That's why I'm a comedian. That's what I do. All things to all men, or whatever. Okay. So car crash television. It was.
I mean, there were definitely bits of it I enjoyed. 5 stars.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually tried to will myself to enjoy it more than I actually did. And I think that's not the sign of a good bit of TV.
Yeah, I think I was the same. I'll be perfectly honest. And I guess spoiling warners for people. I don't know who we're going to go.
Spoiling Warner?
Is that what I said? Yeah. Spoiling Warner. Okay. He played for Australia, didn't he? Spoiler warning. That's the one.
There you go.
You see, I haven't actually spoken to anyone in 12 months. I felt, I don't know. I think, do you know, without going into massive detail, just in case people haven't seen it, whatever, I felt, which is very typical of this kind of thing. Like, for example, when they'd made the Han Solo film for Star Wars, right? And I think what they did was, right, let's get everything we know about Han Solo and we'll bung it into that film. Okay, so he won the Millennium Falcon Gambler. Okay, tick. Oh, Kessel Run, mention that, right, tick, let's have that. It's just like they just bunged it all into this one thing. It just felt like there's no room for any kind of expansion or any kind of depth or anything.
Or imagination.
And I felt they did the same kind of thing here as well, actually, where, you saw the whole, I mean, I thought a couple of the characterizations were pretty good. A couple of them were just really off, I felt. And that's not to belittle any of the actors or actresses, etc. in it, who actually did a pretty good job, actually.
Yeah, no, it's the characterization and the writing, really.
I think especially, now, I haven't read people's reviews, opinion. I tend to avoid that kind of stuff anyway. So this might be something which is a generalized thing. I don't know, so apologies if it is. But I think especially, Galadriel's character just didn't seem like they turned into just kind of like quite emotional, hot-headed warrior kind of person, rather than this kind of ethereal, like extremely wise and knows much more than you will ever know kind of figure. And I thought that just really just didn't chime true at all for me. And that was one thing I felt. And I think the other thing was, again, they put so much into this. One thing they did amazingly well with the films, I think we've spoken about this before, is you really got that sense of this huge world and this huge space, and it takes a long time to explore and all of this. And I just felt, maybe without revealing spoilers, but especially towards the end, the last couple of episodes, what they did there was just a bit like, first of all, I wasn't even sure I couldn't remember that from the Tolkien stories. Maybe that did happen, but I just felt I was watching out for, this is just like, again, you're just everything you can possibly shove in, you're just shoving in. It's like, and it just made it just feel very small and not of the same world as the book, and not of the same world as the movies of the book. For me, it looked beautiful. The production design was amazing. And they borrowed a lot, didn't they, from the production design?
Yeah, but I think it's Weta that did it. So actually, it's.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. Right. So I think I think is great. So at least it does feel like it's all part of the same world, and they didn't try and go and say, "Oh, we're just going to do our own thing. We're going to make the orcs look like, I don't know, potatoes."
They kind of do a bit anyway.
Yeah, they do.
Bit Spud-like. So yeah.
yeah.
Maybe, is it worth a rewatch at some point?
No,
with a fresh
it's
pair
so
of eyes.
long.
Or do you think
No.
it is?
It's
It is long. Yeah, you could either rewatch all of those, or you could rewatch all the films.
yeah. What are you going to
Given the
pick
choice,
there?
what are you going to pick? Or you could watch all of the Hobbit films.
Yeah.
I will say, I know. I said I did, even though I still don't think they're brilliant or whatever. I did enjoy the Hobbit films much more the second time around.
Okay.
So maybe I don't. I mean, are they going to make any more? I guess.
I think so.
What are they going to? Because I thought they only had the right. I think you told me this. They only had the rights to the
appendices.
basically what's in the appendices.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is there anything left? And
Well, that's the problem. Is they're just filling in the gaps. They'll find a line in the appendices and they'll say, there were some trees between Rohan and Gondor, and then they go, okay, well, I wonder what could happen in these trees.
a whole berry picking episode. Yeah. Oh goodness. I guess I invested that much money in it.
Yeah, no, it's.
I think. Do you know what another problem is? And you can tell me whether this is right or wrong, or me just being a cynical old person. Which is, I'm not that old, but you know me. Where I think we've had so many things now where you've got this big, amazing thing, and then a company like Amazon or whatever, will invest a whole bunch of money into a series, and actually the fanfare of it in the end isn't actually that great, because you've seen this kind of thing before when somebody takes this great work, they try to make derivative things of it and all of this, and actually by the time it comes around, that level of excitement just isn't there, I think, for most people. And I certainly didn't feel that excited about it. I was more feeling like, oh God, I hope they just don't screw it up kind of thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that should not be the way you go into these things. Oh, I hope they don't ruin something I like.
Yeah. We spoke about The Sandman before, and we were very pleasantly surprised with how that turned out.
Absolutely.
Both probably
So
very
it shows
worried
it's
about
possible.
that.
It shows
it's possible.
Yeah.
Even the original films, were a big risk.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
But they were amazingly well done. But I just think for ones which do end up really good now are very few and far between. In my mind, when it's taking some kind of deriving something of something that already exists, there aren't that many which are think, oh, actually this is brilliant.
No, well, this is but everything's getting rehashed. And speaking of which, the latest. Well, I don't know if it's a rumor or confirmed, but unfortunately, I think it's confirmed. Is there are new films in the works, as in of Lord of the Rings?
What do you mean? Like a
new trilogy?
A new trilogy
of Lord
What's
of the
that
Rings?
based on?
Of Lord of the Rings.
Oh no, you're kidding! Is that right? Oh God, yes, because they're bound to be so much better than the Peter Jackson ones, right? Yeah, I think, and this is a whole problem. Why would you do that for any reason other than to make money?
Exactly.
It's
yeah.
But that was such a one-off. It was so everything lined up perfectly in that. The perfect people to make it, the perfect people to write it, the way it was produced was just everything was absolutely right. Everyone was so invested in it.
Yeah.
And it was a real labour of love, and you can see that spill over into every frame of that thing.
Yeah.
And it's very special, and you can't fake that. And I mean, God, I don't even want to know who's going to direct that. Who's going to write it. I mean, I don't want to know.
Well, I'm glad I could cheer you up.
Yeah, thanks for that. I mean, it's been 20 years, and needs a remake, right?
Yeah, no, well, that's it, isn't it? Well, I think we've brought everyone down.
All right. I'm just trying to think of other things. So I've seen only the first episode, and I think you've watched the whole thing of the second series of Good Omens.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Very much of the same ilk as the first series,
yeah.
Which I was very pleasantly surprised about. I know you're a massive Terry Pratchett fan.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say I'm a massive Terry Pratchett fan. I very much appreciated what he was. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, it does. I think maybe I'm the same. I read a couple of his books, and I thought they were good, but it didn't kind of really grab me. But I could totally see why some people would get really into. I can so see that.
Exactly the same.
And I think with this, I think it seems to be a good combo, him and Neil Gaiman, because you have that sort of silliness, which I think they both like, but Terry Pratchett seems to be really good at it, kind of silly, kind of, but hard hitting, but silly kind of humor, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, and I think they were best friends, and I think, you know, when best friends just come together to create something, you know, just for the fun of it, and it really shows. I mean, I never read the book, Good Omens, but
no, I haven't even.
No, but I think that the magic of Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett really comes across on screen in those series. So that's good. So it is possible. There's a plus. There's something good happened.
I think I mentioned to you, I randomly, one of the, I think it's Amazon or something, they're showing the entire series of Miami Vice, the original one from the 80s. So I've been, again, one of those classic, I like to have one series where I can just flick on an episode while I'm cooking dinner or whatever, just have it.
Yeah. It's why all your food's burnt.
Rubbish cook.
How long does it take to make this dinner? About 44 minutes. Perfect.
Yeah. 44 exactly. All my meals exactly same. And actually, that's been really quite surprisingly good to watch, I would say, because I was of the age where I remember they were showing reruns of it at some point, and I think maybe I was in my early teens or something. And I remember my mum wouldn't let me watch it, but my dad kind of didn't mind me watching it. But I only ended up watching like a few handful of episodes. I just thought it was really cool or whatever at that time. But it's it's really good. It's definitely of its time,
yes,
for sure. But at the same time, it does try to tackle some pretty serious issues. But generally, I think I'm halfway through the 4th series out of 5 at the moment.
Yeah.
So there's the old school standard 45-minute episodes, 24, whatever it is in each series. So there's quite a lot there. But I think especially those first couple of series are really, there's some quite special stuff in there.
Yeah.
And if nothing else,
and Phil Collins.
Well, I was going to say, if nothing else, I would advise anyone to watch the pilot episode, which is basically like a 1.5 hour mini movie, really, which is fantastic and does feature the ubiquitous Phil Collins. He actually turns up in an episode.
I was going to say, but have you got to the episode when he's the...
he's a geezer. He's a geezer. He's doing the thing. He's presenting the TV show. He's actually a pretty good actor in some ways, Phil Collins, but not Oscar worthy.
You're a pretty good actor in some ways.
It's damning by faint praise indeed. Actually, that is one thing about the series is the amount of faces you recognise. Now, in the first couple of series, it tends to be people who went on to become famous. So, there's like a very young Bruce Willis playing this horrible, horrible character in one of the episodes. And like lots of character actors and stuff. Oh, I remember that guy.
Jimmy Smits is in the pilot, isn't he? But he only lasts 10 minutes or so, if I remember.
Oh, hold on, Jimmy Smits. Oh, Jimmy Smits. Yes, I think he is actually. Yeah. I think he is.
I think he's Crockett's first partner.
Okay. He
gets blown up.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
A lot of people. It's not really. A lot of people get blown up. Well, that's one. Okay. Do you know one thing I'll say about it as well is that yes, okay, the music's great if you like that whole kind of Jan Hammer thing. It just sits perfectly with that aesthetic. Speaking of aesthetics, it looks great. But what I really like about it is, some of the storylines are quite dark. Being a series of that time, you once in a while get like a bit of a silly episode or something like this, more light-hearted one, etc. But what I really like about it is, it really treats you with respect. The series. So, for example, if there's somebody, I remember for example, there's one where it starts to become clear that one of the people they're working with is actually a bit of like not a double agent, but whatever that would be in sort of police terms. Yeah. So, but it becomes obvious that actually this person is working against them, But they'd never have, just as an example, they don't have a big reveal saying, "Oh, I found out this guy's betrayed us," kind of thing, did it? It just slowly gets implied as you go through it, and you come to the realization at the same time as the characters. and there's no big reveal moment to that. But they figure it out at the same time you do. So just things like that. Some of them are really well written like that and really well made. I would say there are some bits which are quite male gazy, I would say, especially none more so than in the actual introduction in the credits to each episode. And you're like, okay. But even stuff like that, they tackle things like, in the 80s as well, they tackle things like over-the-top masculinity and the way that women are treated in the police force and race stuff. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. Anyway, long story short, I've been very impressed with it. And
So in summary,
very much enjoyed it.
In summary, over the last 13 months, the best thing you've watched on TV is a show from 1988.
That's probably correct. 84.
Oh, 84.
288. I'm up to about 87.
Okay, well, let's not ramble on too much because we should go away and play a game which this podcast is actually based on.
Yes, we should. So, I say, I played that literally just a couple of days ago. So I will.
You're game shaming me here.
I am, but this is the first time I've ever had the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, you kept that in your back pocket.
I did. That was quite good, I thought. I'll save this one for the recording. But no, I think I will need to give it a couple more. I mean, I'm determined to beat it one. I didn't beat it.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. So I'm determined to do that before we record. So it might be another 13 months anyways.
Yeah, and there are a couple of ways to skin this particular watcher.
Don't go with the obvious. It's not enough. Who came up with that expression? Plenty of ways to skin a cat. Well, how would you know? Professional cat skinner.
Yeah, no, but he just walks in and he goes, well, yeah, you could do it that way.
Yeah. Some really nasty play. Like, no, I'm starting to get some bad imagery now. Let's move away.
I wonder how. No.
Yeah, exactly. This is for another podcast. It's a family podcast, John.
Well, if there is indeed anyone listening to us still, if you are still listening to us, and if you have, I mean, I wouldn't say stuck with us. That's not true. I doubt there's anyone who's sort of listening or re-listening to the episodes. I must say though, I think with back to the game. So I was going to give a thank you to anyone who is still going to be our fans after this, but I won't do that. What I will say is that with the re-release of the game, it does seem to be still very popular from what I can see in the forums on Board Game Geek, and I keep one eye on Reddit as well, of a lot of new players coming in, and I do see our early episodes are still getting quite a lot of traction. So if there are any new listeners out there, welcome. Look, we're still making podcasts.
Yeah, we're not going to lie to you. This is how it is. Lots of rambling. And,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's meant to be a game podcast. Okay, so that's interesting. So that's new version or new ordering.
Well, it's not new anymore. It's not new.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been like over a year now anyway, hasn't it? I think that was last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Summer 2022.
Yeah, I think they've released the... Yeah, but of course they're not releasing it in order, and by that I mean the original order. So they've released, I think, 2 big box adventure packs. I don't know what they're calling them. You know, where you get basically all the cycle in one box. The player cards which come with those. So that's 2 of those, and I believe they've released the first 2 saga boxes, the Fellowship and 2 Towers, I think.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
So we might have some new listeners who basically listen to the first, sort of 4 or 5 episodes of our podcast was we talk about the core set, and then they tune out when they realise they don't have any of the
subsequent
any of the subsequent cards.
Do we know now how much it's lining up with the original order? Is it very different?
Oh, it's all over the place.
It is, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember we did have that discussion, didn't we, to say whether should we continue as we are, should we follow the new one? I guess let's carry on as we are, and let's see how. If they've only released a couple of boxes so far,
Yeah, exactly.
we can always figure that out later, can't we?
Yeah, carrying on in a very loose sense.
Yeah, just had a quick rest. We got to Rivendell, we've recovered.
We put our feet up.
And now the true remainder of the quest begins, I believe.
Yeah. And which way is Mordor?
Yeah, that way. I know the way.
Okay, well, shall we wrap this up? No extras. No fact of the week.
Yeah. Frequently asked, frequently recorded podcast.
But all I would do is say, I hope you enjoyed this little bonus episode. Just to let everyone know that we are still in the land of the living, and we do fully intend to keep recording and keep making podcasts for as long as people are interested in listening to them, to be honest. Actually, we'd probably make them anyway.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to continue on regardless.
At our own pace.
Yes, always. We're never late. These
things can't be rushed. Not so hasty, young hobbit.
We have got into full Ent mode here, haven't we? Okay, let's come back to sort of some more Hobbit pace at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's wrap this up then, and let's go away and play the game. And we hopefully get back recording super soon, and we'll be able to give you a full episode of Lord of the Rings. So, until then, what do I normally say at the end?
Bye!
Until then, take care right there, and goodbye.
Goodbye.